After backpacking adventure side of the north, I thought I had seen it all. But Vietnam had completely different side waiting for me. I am back in Hanoi, but this time I'm heading south to the quiet mornings of Hoi An, the coastal vibes of Da Nang, and high energy streets of Ho Chi Minh. If you saw my northern guide, so you know I don't do standard itineraries. This is the real cost, the hostel realities, and the honest lessons of traveling central and south Vietnam solo. Hi, I'm Pragya. Welcome to my channel Khao Local Ghuma Global, where I share new ways of living through travel, food, and local stories. Whether you are planning your first solo trip or just want to know if central Vietnam fits your budget, stay with me and now rock and roll. The only thing I had actually prepared for this trip was my train ticket from Hanoi to Da Nang. I booked it 10 days in advance right when I started in Vietnam, but honestly, I quickly realized that advance booking, just in my case, just does not fit my travel style. Because I was booking hostels, buses 1-2 days in advance just to stay flexible. This one fixed ticket started feeling like a major regret. If I had not pre-booked it, I could have taken a direct bus from Ninh Bình to Da Nang and saved both my time and money. Now coming back to train ticket, to keep cost low, I skipped the agents and went straight to the Hanoi railway station, and here is the pro tip. The private counters there will quote you much higher prices for sleeper cabins. I used the English self-service kiosk instead and found a soft seat AC chair card for just 780,000 Vietnamese dong, approximately 2,600 rupees in INR. The moment the train started moving and those scenic views hit, all that regret disappeared. It was beautiful. Quick tip here, if you are doing this route, book a seat on the left side facing Da Nang. That's where you get the best ocean views. I have actually put all together a full train travel checklist for Vietnam. If you want it, just comment train below and I'll send it over. Arriving in Da Nang was a shock. After the rustic part of Hanoi, this felt like stepping into a modern video game, a balanced modern city, and honestly, I just was not vibing with it. I checked into Po Si Ki Hostel, also known as Night. In central Vietnam, prices jumped up, and since I was on budget, I booked the cheapest hostel. It was the total gamble because the reviews were not good. The reality, location wise, it is a 10 on 10, but for solo traveler vibes, social life, or help with tours, it was a 0. I felt like running away the moment I walked in, but I had already paid for 2 nights, so I had stayed. But that's the reality of travel. Some cities makes you want to stay forever and others want you to leave the same day, and that is okay. I decided to push myself. I was 50 steps away from the iconic Dragon Bridge, so that became my everyday view. I even walked all the way to the beach just to pass the time, wondering what am I even doing here? So I picked one spot, Marble Mountain, for the second day. I took a grab there and realized there are 2 ways up, a lift or a hike. Of course, I chose the hike and the ticket price was 40,000 Vietnamese dong. As I started exploring the caves, I saw a group of people scrambling up a really narrow, teda-meda rocky gufa mein ja rahe the. I thought, okay, these are my kind of people. I joined them, and after a bit of climb, we reached onto a mountain peak with a view that changed my entire mood. I ended up spending 3 peaceful hours exploring the corners of the Marble Mountain, and it was beautiful. I honestly enjoyed it and so proud of my decision of picking that one thing in Da Nang to do. And I had a bit of local food, wandered around, and just like that, I was happy. For me, even if just one thing goes well in a day, I am satisfied. My verdict on Da Nang, it's a great city for digital nomads or anyone looking for a high standard of living. But for my solo backpacking soul, it was just a short but necessary stop. And on my 3rd day, I moved to the lantern capital of Vietnam, Hoi An. Before I tell you how a 3-day plan turned into a week-long stay in Hoi An, here is a pro budget tip for getting there from Da Nang. I skipped the expensive taxis and walked 5 minutes to a local bus stop. I got bus number LK02, Phu Ta bus lines, which only cost me 30,000 Vietnamese dong, approximately around 100 rupees. Here is the pro tip. Phu Ta is one of the most reliable lines in Central and South Vietnam. Just tell the driver your hostel name and they will usually drop you at the nearest point. I stayed at Bed Station Hostel. It was a bit pricey but great for social vibes, free breakfast and happy hours. Even though it was 2 kilometers away from the ancient town, I loved it. That's the beauty of a small town. You can walk everywhere and discover things at your own pace. Now for the unexpected part, I ended up staying staying a whole week because I just loved the flow here. The food was inexpensive, vegan options were everywhere, and the old town with its colors and creativity was magic. Here is the local secret: go to the old town before 8 a.m. I went at 6 a.m. one morning, and the silence was breathtaking compared to the tourist chaos that starts at around 9 a.m. in the morning. And now, would you believe me if I told you that I did not do that famous lantern boat ride, even though I was so excited for it? Sitting by the river, watching them was enough for me. Sometimes just witnessing the beauty is better than being in the middle of it. But if you do want to do it, watch out for this scam. The official cost is 150,000 Vietnamese dong for the entire boat, not per person. Prices spike during sunset and between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you want a better deal, walk towards the end of the river, away from the crowd, and bargain for a non-prime time. I spent almost zero money on tours here. I visited the Japanese bridge, feast, temples, and market just by walking. And the food, I tried vegan banh mi and the local specialty Khao Lao noodles, which became one of my favorites in all of Vietnam. But the real surprise, I am a die-hard chai lover, yet here I was falling in love with coconut coffee. First salt coffee in the north, and now this one. Vietnam was changing me in the best possible way. Hoi An for me was quiet, romantic, simple, and meaningful. After a dream week in Hoi An, it was time to move to the south to Ho Chi Minh, or as the locals still love to call it, Saigon. Word of advice, popular train routes in Vietnam needs a 15-day head start. So I took a gamble on an 18-hour journey in a 32-bed limousine sleeper bus. I was mentally prepared for the long haul, and honestly, it wasn't as bad as I feared. If you are confused about which bus to pick, check out my Northern Vietnam guide where I break down all the bus types. Once I reached Saigon, I faced a big traveler's dilemma. Do I keep going deeper into the Mekong Delta or Phu Quoc, or is time to go to home? I decided to end my journey here. I wanted to leave my memories of misty mountains and lanterns-lit streets. I stayed near the Bentham Market and my hostel called 9 Hostels and Suites. Perfect location for someone who likes to walk around, and instead of rushing, I used my 3 days to slow down. The only must-do on my list was the Cu Chi Tunnel, but I wanted to do it on a backpacker's budget. While tour agencies charge between 350,000 to 600,000 Vietnamese dong, I did the whole trip for just 200,000 Vietnamese dong using public bus. Okay, here was the mission. Number 1, take bus number 13 from the city center to the Cu Chi station. Number 2, hop on bus number 79, which drops you right at the tunnel entrance. It takes time, but it was a fun adventure. Crucial tip, most tours take you to Binh Dinh Tunnel, which is crowded and reconstructed. I went to Bien Doc, which is farther away but much more authentic and quiet. It felt like a private tour. The entrance was 35,000 Vietnamese dong plus an optional 100,000 for the guide. Crawling through those tiny squeezed tunnels gives you a chilling perspective on how the Vietnamese survived and fought. We ended the tour with some traditional steamed snack, a pure vintage vibe. Now, before flying back to India, I had to address my coffee transformation. I went to a little Hanoi to try the famous egg coffee in Saigon. The expert advice, drink it hot. You don't just sip it, you eat it. The top layer is like a rich, creamy dessert, but be warned, the coffee at the bottom is bitter. It was a 50-50 experience, but you have to try it once. I also discovered a new favorite street food, grilled banana sticky rice wrapped in banana leaves and served with creamy coconut sauce. It's filling, not too sweet, and absolutely delicious. And that was it. My journey through Central and South Vietnam ended with a quiet meal at a vegan cafe. If you have any questions about the Cu Chi, buses, the hostels, or anything around what I talked about, please drop a comment. Now let's talk about the part which I hate the most to share, but somewhere it's good for me to know how much this part of the Vietnam trip actually cost me. Transport cost me under 7,000 rupees, tour and activities cost me under 800 rupees, hostel cost me under 7,000 rupees, food cost me under 7,000 rupees, miscellaneous or extras we consider under 3,000 rupees. So in total, my entire Central and South Vietnam trip cost me under 24,800 rupees. And this is the rough estimate. It could even be slightly lower in reality, but definitely not more than this. And before I wrap up this Vietnam journey, I want to leave you with 5 essential tips to make your Central and South Vietnam more smoother, and take a screenshot or save this guide for making your trip better than mine. Number 1, on train strategy. If you are on budget, choose the soft seat AC chair car. It's significantly cheaper than the sleeper and perfect for daytime scenic routes. But remember, for popular routes like Hanoi to Da Nang, book at least 10 days in advance. Number 2, avoiding the lantern boat scam. Hoi An is magical, but the boat rides are where the scam happens. Always clarify if the price is per boat or per person. Also ask if the lantern candle is included or if you have to buy it separately. If you do not ask, you will likely to pay at the double at the end of the ride. Number 3, choosing your Cu Chi tunnel experience. Book any tour, ask the agency which tunnel, aim for the authentic one. Pen Doc, how many people are in the group, and is the entrance fee and the guide included? If you have time, do it my way, by public bus. Number 4, burn the checklist. My biggest lesson, don't force a checklist itinerary. The best memories I have were not from the famous spots. They were from the free walks, the random vegan food stalls, and the slow mornings. Let the city speak to you. Don't just rush into the next landmark. Number 5, solo female safety. I get asked this a lot. Is Vietnam safe for girls, especially solo female travelers? Personally, I felt incredibly safe day or night. The hospitality is warm and people are genuinely kind. But always stay alert, trust your gut, and keep your offline map ready. Vietnam is welcoming, but being a smart traveler never hurt. And that's a wrap of my journey through Central and South Vietnam. I have put all the links and my personal notes in the description below, so make sure you check them out before you plan your trip. If you have any question around this topic, drop them in a comment. I would love to help. For more real-time travel experience and behind the scenes from my trip, you can follow me on my Instagram and Facebook handle. It's called Khao Local Ghumo Global. Use this guide as a reference and make the trip of your own and travel at your own pace. What is next is the ultimate Vietnam food guide as a vegetarian. It is packed with stories, vegan food gems, and some very important things you need to know before you eat your way through this country. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. This is me, Pragya Sharma, exploring new ways of living, signing off. Until then, travel safely, stay curious, and explore the world with care. Bye. Namaste.